She's not so much older.
Have Rana at my age.
The younger brother? No.
Youngest by my age.
Brought down
With 2 years
Seichel.
old.
Huh?
She's a good 2 years older than me.
Taught us Namorim to explain how you could really understand basic Achdus Havaya. Basic, logically, also, as much as possible, at least something to understand about truth of Ein Sof. That's what Alter Rebbe is. That's what Chassid is. A Chosid. That's what Alabavitch Chosid is supposed to is. That's the basic. Chabad. What means Chabad? You should understand Gedlichkeit with Chabad. It doesn't mean you should be a philosopher, really to understand politics. It means you understand and bring down the Levkus Seichel. That your personal Seichel, and it's brought down, and see this many times, into your level of Seichel. It's not that the Rebbe didn't base. The Chassidus is only for those who understand that say in Rebine, to learn I am base. Everybody, there's a Loshen Tanya, Pek Bemal Mutzel. And she yami b'sichloi, kifi asogas meichit v'nosei, kifi apnai shalom. Every day, every person is different. Every person has his mind satisfied with a logic differently. In other words, some person is enough, you tell him something's ready, he understands it. Another person, you tell him the same thing, he says it's not good enough, and I have to know deeper. So he needs more to be explained differently. But it doesn't mean that because the other person was satisfied with his understanding, even at his level, that's not true. Of course, the smarter person thinks you need another pupil to understand it. Therefore, what the other guy understands, the lower level doesn't understand, it's wrong. So the Rebbe says everybody has his boiling point. Everybody has his satisfaction that he's comfortable enough, that the thought is good enough for him, that he should realize it and should make an impact in his feelings, in his anhoga, and so on. So this is a very important thing. One that the Rebbe wrote down the Lukus as Bligvul, brought it down to Seichel, and not only different levels of Seichel, it comes out so different. Sometimes a person has more time, sometimes he has less time. Same way there's also, we say, it's bonus for the davening, how much do you need? Sometimes a day, sometimes you need to have more time to realize a thought, sometimes you need less time. But the point is, according to every person's level, it's a bracha that the Rebbe had, that he should bring down the Lukus into such a logical way that every person in his level would be able to become impacted by it, and they should make a change in him. Yosim el Liboy, that should change his way of thinking. A Chosid, people, I'll give you an example. Someone here in the community asked a question. His daughter was going out with a bocha who was advertised as a Chassidish bocha. So while they were meeting, she asked him, you say Krishma in the morning, get up, say Krishma. He says, not so, I'm not Mahadar in this. She asked him, what kind of heksha do you, or you, okay, or whatever. Whatever heksha is good enough. And when she came home, She asked the father came over and asked Mashpim in the yeshiva, what do you call a chassidische bracha? That called a chassidische bracha who doesn't care about the herrscher, doesn't care about getting up his man Krishma. I'm asking, let's call the chassidische gemad. What means a chassidische gemad? What is the chassidische gemad? What's the basic minimum? For sure, you have to be ashamed of your mitzvahs. For sure, you have to say, learn, Pitas, Rambam. Is there a chos? You could say the Rebbe let everybody be a chos. Anybody who wants to be mekusha to the Rebbe is also a chos. The question is, what's the Shema Toya Chosid is? How do you get this? Is Shema Mushal, this Shema Toya? What's Shema Toya Chosid? Could you be a Chosid without learning Chassidus? Could you be a Chosid without knowing Tanya? Could you be a Chosid without davening seriously? I'm not the one who's asking whether Chas v'Sholom you left out. If you don't do that, you're not a Chosid. But looking at Chassidus, and it sounds like these are certain basic elements that are Chosid. To be a Chosid, there's certain person has to learn Chassidus. Now he says how many hours a week a person has to learn Chassidus, how much atom has to learn, how much Astama has to learn Chassidus. But to learn Chassidus is a basic thing. If you want to be born in whatever your life is all about, you want to know how to accept whatever happens to you. You want to grow until you daven better, which is very important. Could you do that without learning Chassidus? Without knowing Yehuda Yisborech, which is the main thing, das ist der ganze Chilik, says der Chilik zwischen Klippe, Kedusha, that is the Nekude, the Iker Chassidus is to know as in the Stock in Ich. That's the basic thing. Could you be mevatli yourself to Hashem Yisborech totally without understanding? What means Hashem Echad? What does it mean? What means? You know the logic. Not speaking yet how this should affect you. Do you know what it's about? To first figure out what it means. What means Hashem Echad? A mitzvah the Torah. You have to understand Hashem. There's two things. A mitzvah to understand Shema Yisrael. It's a mitzvah to midis. It's a mitzvah to medaber and bedibur and krishma twice a day. But Shema Yisrael is a very basic part of Yiddishkeit. Mamish, even when I'm serious nefesh, I'm saying Shema Yisrael. That happens I'll try to use in Tanya. Shema Yisrael is serious nefesh. It's nefesh mamish. If you don't even know what it's about, do you know what it's about? Do you understand that you're ready to go and serious nefesh for a while? That Rebbe says that. That's come to kneel. You're supposed to think, accept. Say Hashem after all Hashem, you're ready to go and serious nefesh. What does that mean? Jump in a fire, you're going to make believe that you're standing in front of a fire, and someone will push you into the fire, you're ready to accept it, and that you're, and finish kneeling with that. Is that what it means? Do you really think that's what it means? We have to learn Hasidus. We have to understand it in my level of learning Hasidus. To get down to the point, what does it mean? Second step, how do I get it to affect me? Another thing. Not, you can't. Achsidische daven is based on knowing da lifnei mi ato oimid. Who's the ato? Who is the mi lifnei mi ato oimid? Who is that? That's what Chabad is. That's what a Chosid is. People don't see this thing. The whole year Shemaim is based on they should go to Gehenna. They don't even think. They don't try to understand. Now the me atoimid. See this Chabad, that's what the Rebbe gave. It's possible for every Yid in his level to understand lifting me at all. Have to learn things is not stand to understand the basic things. I'm not speaking in a learned sit-down, you have to learn in Rebine. What you have to learn, Tanya, you have to learn, learn the easy mamorim, the basic mamorim, but Yiddishkeit. Then, after you know that, you grow on that. But at least that, go down a whole week, a person shouldn't see the Shabbos for the davening. Let's do a favor. Something has to change. You're not going to be able to have a Malchut Shamayim. You're not going to have to be a chosid limi without realizing Dal lifnei mi adoyim. Ever says the Mamsnagish shul used to be a sign on the wall. By the Omed Dal lifnei mi adoyim. I've seen it. You don't have to have a sign in shul. It's supposed to be in your heart day and night, constantly. Dal lifnei mi adoyim. The Friedrich ever says, lifting me, first you have to know to whom you're davening. Say me, Ato, who are you davening to this lifting me? And what are you coming for? You want to speak to Hashem's Baruch. She changes his mind. Whatever he's been doing to you one way, she will be asking him, please give me change. And you're entitled. For what are you entitled? That your tefillah should be miskabel. What? I said, we're going to marry him. One Islam. Everybody doesn't have to tshuva because the davening has a tshuva and come out of the goods. You won't have to work to let's see this. Think about it, seriously. Doesn't mean it's bonus for hours, but at least to remind yourself who you're dealing with. These are things that we have to upgrade, each one of us, every day, especially for each Elul, big Hashini for a continuous year. Hi. Friedrich writes, by Verbringen, the Nigen by Verbringen, the time how like here, there's a clogged rustic pipe which doesn't let the water go from one place to another. Same way there's seichel, by Verbringen, in this oire with something, but it doesn't let actually come down to change into the heart. Because in the meantime there's a mitzvah going between the head and the heart. Chassidische Nigen by Verbringen unclogs, you put in Drano into the pipe to let it on. Should unclog the pipe, and then the lassen the kopf erop on herz. I have to have it's an Indian before the Atzimori. People sit around like a guy should talk. I don't have no stories to tell. I have the interesting thing to make it comfortable. I bring it, I put him in a hotel. You have to. I bring it. I don't have no stories. But if I bring it, it's not the stories. If I bring it, whoever talks. There's got a report is what it talks about. But that you should have Yosem and Liboy. That was singing Chassidische Ding, Chassidische Ding. This is a major part of Verbringen. And that's play twice there, finish, jetzt again. Reinhaken am Nicken, Chassidische Nicken. I can't even accomplish this, it seems like. importance of learning Chassidus sounds like bringing someone with you know the truth. People don't like to hear someone else telling them what to do. A lot of reasons. First, they don't like to hear someone else. Second, who are you to tell me? And so on. You learn a Maimah, it's the Rebbe talking to you. It's your personal relationship between you and the Rebbe. You learn a Perek Tanya, that the Rebbe says right in the beginning that all the eitzes and problems, it's written in here, the eitzes, all problems that you have in Avodas Hashem. Question is, do you have problems in Avodas Hashem? That's your problem. It's a very serious question. That's your problem. You go to the oil, I want to tell you a story. Peretz said that Reb Shillim, he was, Reb Shillim was, first he was, came by, I don't know how he came to Lubavitch. He came to Lubavitch with shorts and with a briefcase. He thought he was going to college. That's kind of person he was. And he came into Temple Piyim, and he came a Moedik Ovid Hashem. He was the Choizer Lubavitch. Later he became a Mashpia. But he was young, so it was hard for him, uncomfortable to verbringen with the Bochum. At that stage, when it's verbringen, he said he didn't feel uncomfortable with the verbringen. So sitting the whole night with the Bochum and only singing Chaim, he couldn't, for one reason or another, he couldn't get himself to start talking to the Bochum. When he came, finally started talking. He took a Bochum, he spoke to everybody, he told me this. Very important question, which very important to you. Let's say a malach comes to you, and you visualize a real malach coming to you and telling you, you know, Hashem is Baruch, really, you appreciate it so much, you're so important to Hashem, you know it, Hashem knows what you did for him. So he sent me to tell you, he's giving you a present, that if you, whatever you wish, he'll give it to you. But only one wish. Tell me what you're wishing for, and I'll give you. So he asked, told the Bochum, he said, in case such thing happens to you, what are you going to, what's your most important, yeah, it's going to happen. It's for sure. It's not just maybe. Hashem is telling you, Hashem is the shame of Hashem is going to give you everything. So what would be your wish? He didn't have to elaborate. He tell you want to have Cinderella, you want to have a massive, you want to have a beautiful house. What do you want to have? Make a cheshbon nefesh. What do you ask Hashem Yisborach for the Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur? Going to the Rebbe, the Rebbe is letting you come. Give me your pity. The Rebbe is telling you, I'll die for you. I'll help you. Tell me what you want. So, seriously speaking, between you and the Rebbe and the lamppost, as they say, what's your problem? What are you going to ask me for? I don't have to elaborate it. You have to know what you're speaking about. The Rebbe says in Tanya, that the Sefer is called All Eitzes and Avodas Hashem is, let's say, it's not your first wish, it's at least your second wish, your third wish. Do you want to have help in Avodas Hashem? Do you want to be Avodas Hashem? You want to have Kabbalah Zel Malchus Shamayim? You want to have, should be easy, is that your problem? Is that one of the top priorities of your problems? Or other things? The main thing, going back to what I was saying before, that The Rebbe says in Tanya was written, if you have problems in Avodas Hashem, all the answers for all your problems are included in Tanya. If you don't understand how you have your answer, you could go to your Mashpia, to Chassidim. But the point is that you have a problem, it's there in Tanya, the answer. I think right now we have to first learn how to get this be our problem. The point is the person has to learn. I'm repeating this many times, that I told my father the story what happened, that he left for the airport, the plane was cancelled with my mother, and it is a minig of Tzavos Yehuda Chosid. If you leave the house for a trip, and you shouldn't go back. You only ask someone else to take something else if you've got something, but you shouldn't go back. It's dangerous to go back. If you want to go on the way to trip and just go back into the house. So he was stuck. He was at the airport with all his baggage with my mother, and he didn't know where to go. She was supposed to go to a hotel. So he asked how the Kov, asked the Rebbe. The Rebbe told him you should learn. He called back later. The Rebbe said you should learn the Peik Tanya. When you learn the Peik Tanya, you become a different person. You can go back to the house. The next morning, Rav Chadakov called up to my father with a message, and the Rebbe asked if he actually did it, because the Rebbe said, I meant what I said. The Rebbe knew, my father was very scared for it says in Tzavos, Yehuda Chosid, it's dangerous, you're scared for his life. He wouldn't do it. But the Rebbe told him, if you learn Peik Tanya, he said, I didn't just say a joke just to throw it off. It's the truth. He said, I meant it. When a person learns a Peik Tanya, you become a different person. Tell you another story, it's not for the Rebbe, a little parasha says, tell the story that there was someone in the shul, was davening, and there was laying a Tanya on the table in his son. The person wanted to use the Tanya, so he went and took away the Tanya to learn it. So Hill Parasha told him, how you talking? A person needs to have a front, even if he's not learning, he has to have a Tanya about him, in front of him, because that's going to remind him where you should be. Tanya has a separate every word is fire. And each word gives you this shudder that we're talking about, the pneumizik shudder. And if you have this shudder, and then you become a different person. That's what the Rebbe said. So we have to learn Hasidus. We have to figure out the things to take it internally. It's very, very important to our whole life. It's to our life, to the family. It's a chosid. That's Mamishkol Brocha, and so on. So one of the upgrades that we should take upon ourselves, Chayel, is to appreciate learning Torah's Chassidus, starting from that learning from Peik Tanya, learning to explain the Tanya and all other Mamorim and so on. It's a very basic, important thing. Chaim. I'm going to say one more thing, it's getting late for me, I can't stay up so late. Another very important issue. I spoke about this very Fabrengen last week, but the Bochum, I don't know if you were there, I don't know if you were listening, but now. One is also, everybody knows that the Rebbe made one of the basic yonim of Chassidus is the Chosid, you should daven seriously. It's important for the Gaboim to know this. There's Tanya, so many Prokim Tanya, so many Geras HaKodesh. That the Rebbe says something you don't even know about. That the Rebbe says you're supposed to put for the Ahmed people who daven slowly. that you're in a hurry because you have to go to business, whatever, you have to go to work, and people never had problems, but doesn't have to go to work. He says, so don't down with the meaning. The Shliach Tzibur is a moitzi, whoever seriously can't stay for the meaning. Why are you rushing? Who cares if you're down for the meaning? Don't down for the meaning. But there has to be a minion davening slowly. There should be a moitzi. Who, listen here, who should be davening for the Omed? He says, put down for the Omed, look at that, and give us a kodesh. You should put down either curling in like, who not rush to go to the business, or melamdim. Here comes a very important question, very important question. It says in the Hilchas Beis Abchiri, not allowed to be mevatel Talmud Toikish Bisavon, even building a Beis Hamikdash. So what's this Melamed? The Melamed has time. The Melamed could come late. He's potter and everything. What's going with the children? What's going with the Toikish Bisavon? I didn't see anybody asking this question. I think the answer is that he's going to take the children with him and they should teach them how to daven. That's part of the Melamed's job, to teach the daven that Talmidim. That's his chidduch. Teach them how to daven seriously. You're not speaking here about davening, the way there's a tefillah is davening for the Amid. But daven slow enough that you should be able to have at least hear what you're talking about. So that's what he says. That's how a shul should be. Shul should be down for a Omed, person who davens slowly. So I want to hemshich to this. I want to tell you something. I don't know if you have geduld to listen to the end, because there's things over here that I feel push it more in the kinegay, just to make the thing full. And I was a bocher, 18, about, in all my chaverim at the age of 18 generally, when we went to the Rebbe for Yimeledes, the Rebbe would add on to the broche after he told the broche ba'avodas atfilah, atzlacha ba'avodas atfilah. That was like, there are times when they would, at a certain age, you say you should put an avodah tamstrum, a certain age you would say you should do an avodas atfilah. So come back to the yeshiva, he come back to the yeshiva, this for the Rebbe. All I know what means avodas atfilah, I couldn't say atfilah. Then you couldn't say atfilah, and you looked into it, and so, wow. You have to be born and it was born only in a wezen, kus von meinem Herzog, and stuck all you go to Malke. I started learning about Chassidus, what kind of avodas atfilah? What does he want from me? What is he imagining for me to do? What am I supposed to try to listen to him? What should I do? So my Chava was Reb Pinyakov for the show. He was older than me, but we learned together, worked together. So let's go into the Peretz Mochkin and hear what he says with him. Went to Peretz Mochkin and he sat down and he said like this: Avodas hatfilah means daven avodah, a yigiyah by the davening. What yigiyah on what? There's different levels. He says, look, start with hatfilah, page Dalet. Today he speaks about tzeirim. He speaks very clearly that younger boys who didn't learn enough Chassidus, or maybe older people also didn't learn enough Chassidus, don't trick the fly up and think him as bonden as were hours, reinisch in Kopf, that's not for you, that's not. Forget about that, right now. What's the starting point? And then there a few things, and then lady says that it's not only for the tzeirim, even those older people who really are doing avodas atfilah, all this abundance, if they don't have time, they should have falling back to this original, to this plan, which is basic Chabad 101 or whatever. That's it. So what's there avodas atfilah? This is first you have to be Masir Das or all other bilbulim, standing and down. Then he says you should daven on one place, standing on one place. You should daven from looking at the siddur. You should know the Pirush HaMilas and think about them, the translation of the words, why you're saying them. You should daven b'mesinus gedoyle. Mesinus means slowly. Doesn't mean very slow, but pretty slow. Daven b'koil k'tzas, not to mumble, but you should hear what you're saying, not to scream. You don't have to scream by the davening. You have to sing loud by the davening. You should hear the words that you're talking. And then the words will be full of life and full of light. The words will be a geschmack to say them. Means, that's what Chabad is. The daven, let's say at one place, know the touch of the davening. It's very important that when you're saying the words, you should know what the words are that you're saying and talk to the Eibishter together, the English and the Lashon Kodesh. In other words, you know what you're talking, saying these words. Meaning that is a higher madrega. In other words, even though you're saying Chalom Racham Hashem, doesn't mean necessarily that right now you have to look on and ask Hashem that He should have Rachmim on you because you need to have Rachmim. For sure, that's what davening is a place to do that, but that's not the 101. Just the words are special words that the Eibishter said. If you say these words, these are the words that are going to reach me. But it says, so Tanya says that you should tell you, so you have to at least know the touch of the davening, should hear that you're saying it, and then the words of the davening will be with chayes. It's going to be another change in the way you daven if you're going to do that. Believe me, I have experience speaking with Talmidim. It makes a different kind of davening if you know the touch, say it loud, and know what you're talking about. The answer, what are you talking? What are you talking about? That means, look at this, a picture. What is it saying here? David makes clouds. Then he makes rain. Rain is going to make grass grow all over. That's going to be Noizel Heimel Lachma, all the animals, all the behemoths will be able to have plenty of grass. They're just making. He's making clouds full of shall be rain. Why do you need to have rain? So should go grass. Why do you need the grass for the behemoths to have what they eat? What do you need the behemoths for? So he says, he doesn't need the pulkas for the behemoth. They should have good steaks. He's making you all these things. Today the behemoth should be fat. Today the behemoth should have shoyke. You should have to eat a chazav shoyke. You should have as a bis madaf to sein. Leute, groß das doesn't need to groß Rois Hashem is Yireyov, es am Yahweh Mechasper.